Okay, so I promised you that I would give you a little video on how to make classic American breakfast. In my house, every Sunday, it's pancakes. So that's what I'm going to make tonight. I'm going to show you how to make pancakes. Pancakes require flour, sugar, salt, baking powder, eggs, milk, and oil. So everything we do in America is with cups and teaspoons. I'll show you in cups and teaspoons, but I'll also try to convert so that we can make it easier to understand. Okay, so this pancake recipe requires 2 cups of flour. That is a half a cup. It's 1 cup. 1.5 cups. 2 cups of flour. .258 kilograms. And then I'll put that right into the bowl. I try to mix all my dry ingredients, put them in the bowl first. So all the dry ingredients go in the bowl first. Next, 2 tablespoons of sugar. .028 kilograms. Certainly hope I'm saying that right. 1 teaspoon of salt. Level. .006 kilograms. And then we need baking powder. 4 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. I always put just a little extra in, I don't know why. So it's .018 kilograms of baking powder. So then I take my whisk and I just make sure that I whisk everything in. Once I have it, all the dry ingredients mixed up, I add the eggs. You need 2 eggs for this recipe. Like a home 2700 PSI pressure washer, regularly $279. Sunday only, just $199. Won't beat that price. Tomorrow we'll find it for only $5. Now we're going to add 1.5 cups of milk, which should loosely translate to about 375 milliliters, if I'm reading this right. And you can just put a little extra in. Okay, and then we add oil. It's vegetable oil, canola oil. You could use olive oil if you wanted to. I just prefer to use vegetable oil. It's 1/4 cup, which I believe translates into 60 milliliters of oil. Desserts make everything better. I need everything. Late for work? Have a cookie for
breakfast, snow in April, cupcake for lunch, and for one day you could break the rules too and have dessert.
So before I mix this up, I'm going to take my pan. I use a nice non-stick pan, and I put my heat near what we call medium-high. And then we'll mix it up. First I break the eggs, and then I just start mixing. And then as I get it better mixed, I'll take the flour off the edges and just start adding it in. And I'm going to mix it until it's smooth. Now sometimes this will come out a little thicker than I like to have it, so I always keep a little bit of water around just to loosen it up if I need to. So this is about the consistency we want it right here, but it looks like it's going to be a little thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Don't add too much, I'll show you. So just a little bit. Let's see, a tablespoon. So in America, a tablespoon, I would say about 15 milliliter of water. And then you're just going to mix that in. It's going to loosen it up a little bit. And I'll show you the consistency that we're going to pour with here. So when you get your batter, you want to be able to pour it in smooth. See how that just kind of pours smoothly? If it doesn't pour smoothly like this, add a little bit more water, but only a little bit. This is the consistency you want it. So I'm going to let this sit for a minute while this pan gets warm. Okay, so I'm going to try a test pancake here. In this household, I always try a small pancake first because I want to make sure that the pan's hot enough. And it's kind of tradition that in this house the puppy always gets the first pancake. So I'm just going to put a little in and we're going to test it out. I like to just shake it down a little bit, that way it flattens it up. What's going to happen, what you're looking for in this pancake to tell whether the backside is done or not, is you're going to start to see these bubbles form. See these bubbles forming here? Well, those bubbles are going to form, and then they're going to go ahead and they're going to pop. So as they're forming and popping, there's going to come a point when it's time to flip it. And it's getting close because you can see how all these bubbles are forming. So let me get my spatula. And again, we'll give you a good look here. Those bubbles are forming and popping, and so we'll get right in here. And you just want to flip it, and you can see how it's starting to raise up. That's the baking powder in there. Let it cook for just a few more, and then I'm going to put this one aside and let it cool off for the puppy. Alright, so there's one. So now let's go ahead and just give it to you. So you have the general idea. You want it about that consistency. It's a whole half cup. That's what I use. So the translation for a half a cup is about 125 milliliters. You're just going to take it and you're just going to pour it evenly out, right in the middle, and then I just shake it down a little bit, and we'll let that one cook. See, she knows that we're cooking pancakes. She's ready. Okay, if you look, you can see the bubbles starting to form. And they're starting to pop around the edges here. I'm going to give it just a few more seconds here, and we'll go ahead and try a flip. That's the color you want right there. And again, it's nice and puffy right here. That's cooking all the insides there. And there you go. That's a nice pancake right there. So now I'm going to show you a little something silly. So if you're cooking for the children, we call this a baster. And There are other things that you can use. It's just what I seem to have here. So we're going to just do a little something silly here. Okay. And then we'll take our half cup, which again is about 125 milliliters. We're just going to pour it right over that. Shake it out a little bit. Okay, well, we're waiting for that to cook. What I want to show you, and I don't know, but in America it's pretty standard that once you make your pancake, you go ahead and put some butter on it. It's better to do it when it's warm. That way it'll melt, and I can spread it out here in a minute. So, with these pancakes, you can do just about anything with them. Once I get this one done cooking, I'll go ahead and show you another one. Then what we'll do is we eat them with syrup, maple syrup. You can use jelly. It's whatever you prefer. Alright, let's go ahead and flip this. And just a little something silly for the kids. So one of the other things that we do in this family is they like fruit in their pancakes. So particularly strawberries. So I take and I slice some strawberries very thin. I'll take the smiley pancake off. And here we go. One more time. You can use any kind of fruit you want. I don't know how pears would do. I mean, strawberries hold up really well to the heat.
Bananas, blueberries.
Yes.
Blackberries, raspberries.
And then I simply lay the rings in there. I like to play. Oh, my goodness, there's a face. I know, I'm silly. Pancakes. Then I just simply push them down into the batter. And then we let that cook. Okay, and then again, just look for those bubbles. Those bubbles are a good indication of how it's cooking. Now the pan's been on the hot for a little, so I'm going to kick it back just a little bit. And then if you look here, put a little bit of butter on the smiley face. And you can see how well it cooks there. We'll put that there. Alright, so that's most of the cooking. And now I'll show you what we do to finish it off. Maple syrup is big around here. We put our maple syrup in a pitcher. And warm a full pitcher like this, I'm going to say holds about probably a little less than 250 milliliters. Usually if I have that full, I'll heat it for a minute. In this particular one, we're just going to heat it for about 30 seconds. There we go, 30 seconds. You just want it warm. You don't need to have it real hot. And then, I don't prefer mine with the strawberries in them. We'll spread the butter around. We just simply pour the syrup right over the top. There's Mr. Smiley Face there. A little bit of bon appetit. A very typical American breakfast.
He means guten Appetit.
Oh, guten Appetit. Now, we mustn't forget the puppy. Stay. Hum. Good girl. Thank you very much. Well, hope this helps you out, and choose.
This has been another Cooking with Tom.